Hello, my beautiful babies. Let's have a quick conversation. Today, we want to have a conversation about value. We want to have a conversation about worth. This is a bit of a continuation of the conversation that we had about self-worth and self-esteem and relationships and feeling jealous and insecure. For those of you watching on Instagram, that video is actually up on YouTube. So go click the link in my bio if you want to get that insight. There's also a beautiful bird magical sighting in the middle of it. So just 10 out of 10 would recommend. In today's video, we're going to be talking about value, but we're going to be talking about value in a different way. Yes. First, we're going to start this off by saying I talk too much. Oh, we're so happy that I naturally did that in air quotes because it's not fucking true. This is for those of you who have been told you talk too much or you are too much, right? You're too much of one specific thing. What we're essentially introducing you all today is to the concept or the new perspective that it's not that you're too much. It's not that you talk too much. That's the example we'll use because it's the easiest one. It's what I've been realizing this through. It's not that I talk too much. It's that I've been around people who don't value me, who don't value what I have to say. So in terms of like childhood stuff, right? You got the whole talks too much during class. You got parents telling you that what you want doesn't matter. Nobody wants to hear you speak. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Maybe you're in a group at some point. You're sharing a perspective. You're really passionate about something. People are looking at you crazy. You say something, people look at you crazy. So then you begin to have this association of like, people don't want to hear me speak. I realize that for the longest time I was sometimes trying to force myself to be like an extrovert and like super happy and stuff, and just feeling bad when I wasn't talking, or I was forcing myself to be silent because I didn't want to talk and say too much, or I would cut myself off and be like, oh, I think that I've talked too much, I've taken up too much time, you know, nobody wants to hear me speak, nobody wants my perspective and all of that good stuff. So basically, one of the first things that I've realized, for those of you who have talked too much, again, this is our example and it can apply to different areas of your life, right? Oh yes, we're gonna get into the different areas in a bit. So I realized that there's a part of me who loves to be silent. I love silence. I'm a third houser. I have my moon and Neptune in the third house. So mentally, there's never any silence, which is why we laugh. Like, silence doesn't exist for me. It doesn't exist. But I do. I love silence. I love being able to be myself. I'm a really observational person. I like to just sit. I like to listen to other people. I like to get to know other people. I like to understand people. But I also like to talk. And so I was just realizing that there were times where I would be talking and I would be really getting into and really feeling what I'm saying. And then I would just like, oh, like something would just be like, be quiet now. Like, stop talking, right? Because nobody wants to hear what you have to say. I experienced really like terrible shit in elementary school with people who just, I was just always talking, just always like making little comments and stuff because I'm talkative and I want to connect with people and I want to love people, and that wasn't appreciated in my elementary school, of course, because distractions and blah blah blah. So all of my backstory short, which you all enjoyed, I'm sure, because I don't talk too much. I realize in relationships and connections with people and conversations with people, I'm always, oh my God, did I say too much? Am I, going off too much? Am I like, just overall talking too much? What if I am overwhelming this person with everything that I have to say? And the answer to me, to you, if this applies to you, if you feel like there's something that you just love and you're like, nobody wants to hear me talk about it, right? It's not about you talk too much. There's no such thing as talking too much. There's no such thing as being too much. It's really just you being around people who do not value what you have to say. So, for example, me, I could talk about astrology all day. Somebody who doesn't give a fuck about astrology, someone who doesn't give a shit about astrological concepts, someone who doesn't care about law of attraction, somebody who doesn't care about personal growth, somebody who doesn't give a fuck about the archangels, somebody who does not care about what I do for work, they're not going to value that. They're gonna okay, I'm tired of listening to this. I'm going to do something else. I don't want to hear you speak, right? Because they don't value that. Versus somebody who loves astrology, somebody who loves hearing about personal growth, somebody who loves everything esoteric, somebody who loves all of the weird spiritual stuff. They're gonna, oh my God, tell me more. Tell me about the types of colors of candles that you use, and tell me about herbs, and tell me about how you work with the energy of the planets, and how you connect with the planets, and how can I connect with the planets, and blah, 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 blah. That's the person, or those are the people who I'm going to connect with, because those are the people who are going to value what I have to say. Another example, I am never going to be at a conference with someone who is talking about taxes. I've told y'all I don't give a shit about taxes. Like, care about them in terms of choosing to be a responsible adult. Would you catch me watching YouTube videos on it? No. At a conference? No. Somebody could be talking for 5 minutes about taxes and it would feel like 5 minutes too long for me. A second is too long for me. I'm tired of talking about it now. But somebody who values taxes, somebody who's an 8th houser, somebody who is an accountant and not a sex worker, like an accountant, and they love accountant stuff, they're going to love that. They're going to love sitting at that conference. They're going to love learning about money. They're going to love learning about stocks. No, that's not me. That's not what I love. That's not what I love to talk about. So I'm not going to have a conversation with somebody about those things. I'm not going to look for the person who that's their passion and that's what they love. We might connect, but we wouldn't be connecting surrounding that specific topic and subject, and that's okay. So it's being able to recognize that just because you're having a conversation with someone and they don't want to hear you speak, it doesn't mean that what you're saying isn't valuable. It doesn't mean that your voice isn't important. It doesn't mean that your perspective isn't an amazing, much needed perspective in the world. It means you're connecting with somebody who does not value your perspective. They don't value your passion. That's okay. My another favorite example would be art. I could go to an art museum and just sit for hours and just not say anything to anybody else and just look at art pieces and figure out what the fuck it means and put that beautiful puzzle together and look at all of the different strokes and do all of that background amazingness. I could do that for hours on end. Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody else, like my oldest brother, for example, cannot fucking do that. Cannot fucking do that. Made the mistake of going to LACMA, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, with both of my brothers at some point, like in 2019. And he is just not having a good fucking time, right? Just not having a good time. He just wasn't having a good time. That's not something that he values. So he didn't want to go to the art and look at all of the exhibits for hours and hours and hours. He wanted to talk and make jokes and stuff. Well, it's like, no, this is a silent time. This is me and Picasso time. You know what I'm saying? Please don't talk to me. It's me and Picasso right now, okay? But that's because this is what I value. This is not what he values. Because my brother didn't value the art and LACMA, does that mean that LACMA is a waste of time? Does that mean that we should throw the whole LACMA away? Nobody ever make another art piece again because my brother doesn't value it? No. And so the same goes for you and for yourself. And now we're talking about things that aren't just your voice, right? We're talking about your creativity. We're talking about your art. We're talking about what you bring to the table in relationships. We're talking about what you're passionate about. We're talking about your business. We're talking about you as a person in your relationships, right? I was feeling like really upset, you know what I mean? Because I'm like, why doesn't this person want to be in a relationship with me? Why doesn't this person want to be in love with me? Like, what's wrong with me? And then I was getting upset, like having a conversation with the universe, like, listen, this shit is ridiculous. I just was like, you know what, bitch, like conversations that I have with my guides, you know what, y'all, this is fucking ridiculous. Like, I was just going off. I was just like, it really doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for me to be this amazing and single. Things that don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? She's amazing. She's gorgeous. She's cute. She's funny. She has all of the different amazing interests in the world. She's so intelligent. She's so smart. She knows so much about so many different things. And you wouldn't know what those things were unless you just hung out with her. And then in her every day, like, this bitch is just like spitting random factoids about a whole bunch of random shit because she just knows everything about everything. She's amazing. Expansive mind. She's so wonderful. And then it came down to, in terms of law of attraction, what are you attracting? You're attracting partners who don't value you. You're attracting the people who don't value you, who don't value what you bring to the table, because that was your childhood. People didn't value you. They didn't value what you had to say. They didn't value what you brought to the table. And so because your childhood, that first life experience, right? That's what you think the world at large is going to be in terms of astrology. We're talking about like Gemini versus Sagittarius, sister signs, opposite signs. Gemini is going to be on the descendant of Sagittarius. Sagittarius is, I want to go out into the world. I want to explore. Little Mermaid. I want to be where the people are. Gemini is home. Gemini is, I'm around the corner from my house. Gemini is, this is my neighborhood park. Gemini is your siblings, your family. This is your beginning life. This is elementary school or K through 12, right? So Gemini, third house energy, that section of your life is going to determine what you think is out there, not the pool, what you think is out there in the world, right? Because Gemini, Sagittarius, they're sister signs, they're opposites. Okay, we're gonna stop talking soon. They're opposite signs, so they're going to affect one another, right? They're gonna play off of one another. So what this means is that you have the worldview and perspective that you have, the worldview and the perspective of what men are like, the worldview and the perspective of what the world is like, the worldview and the perspective of people's financial fucking situations. I have spent so much time just wrapping my head around the fact that everybody in the world is not poor. Everybody in the world isn't financially struggling. I felt like because of my situation that everybody was struggling, everybody had money issues except for the white people who live up on the hill that you get to go to their school every so often. But those people and your people, those are two different lives, Hannah Montana. Those are two different experiences, right? You are the person who experiences poverty, not the person who lives in and owns a house. And so that has affected me and my business in terms of pricing and how much money I allow myself to receive, because how can I ask for large amounts of money when I have the perception of the world that nobody has money, that everybody is poor, that rich people are 1 in a million, right? So it's just about being able to recognize, okay, how am I not valuing myself? How am I not valuing what I have to say? How am I not showing up for myself? Do I value me? Do I value what I bring to the table? Do I value what I bring to the table in relationships? And being able to value something is being able to actually list that out. Who are you? What do you bring to the table? Why are you so amazing? Why would somebody want to love you? Why would someone want to be in a relationship with you? Why would somebody want to work with you? What do you bring to the table? And I feel like for a lot of us, there is this feeling of like, I don't even want to look at that. I don't even want to get into that. I don't even want to think about that, because there's a fear of actually looking at yourself and being like, oh, wow, there is no reason why anybody would love me, except that's not true. So that's not what's going to happen. Why would someone want to be in a relationship with me? Why would someone want to love me? Because I'm gorgeous. Because I'm just beautiful. Mars in the first house. I don't make the rules. I mean, that would be sexually appealing. What's the difference? Venus in the 6th house. Again, I don't make the rules. Baby girl's got a beautiful face. What can I say? That's the law. All I do is follow it. The laws of the universe, you know what I'm saying? So, moral of the story, sit with yourself. Figure out the places where you're not valuing yourself. I wasn't valuing my voice. I wasn't valuing what I brought to the table. Who wants to hear me speak? A lot of people. People who give a fuck about what you give a fuck about want to hear you speak. They want to connect with you. They want to love you. They want to interact with you. 100%. Yes. That's all that I have to say. If you want to work with me right now, I am creating programs for you specifically within your budget. If you're interested in it, either click the link in the description or DM me or email me. All of that information will be somewhere depending on where you're watching this, okay? I love you all so much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.